Hello everyone, Bean from the bedroom here, your guitar junkie, masterwah, with this, and then I'll speak about this fine specimen. Alright, man, that hurt. That was tough. First time playing today, and the shoulder's acting up. And again, I was counting the notes. If you've seen my videos, you know what I mean by that while I was playing. However, let's get to the guitar at hand. Just a quick run through. Going through my 5150 Eddie Van Halen Iconic 3 40-watt combo, which sounds amazing. The gain is only on 2, and this is the amp by itself. Right, so if I stack it with the Dirty Boost Andy Timmons drive, it cleans it up, brightens it up a little bit. Turn that off and turn on the button next to the Demon FX Andy Timmons drive. Sounds just as good. turn that off, put on the orange burst, and sounds even betterer. So the orange burst is a Cadillac pedal. Both of them, they're like under $50 or so. But either pedal, you know, this guitar just really eats them up, and all of them sound great with this particular guitar. I can't say that with my other guitars. I have two overdrive pedals. The Demon FX has two buttons on it, dirty boost and the drive, with a toggle switch so I could change the wattage. If you lower the wattage, you get more gain out of it. I don't want more gain. And the orange burst, you know, I basically have at, it's like the gain is at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and the gain on the other one is 11 o'clock. And it's just to enhance the guitars that I have different pickups in, that, you know, I just need a little bit more here or there, more punch, less tone, more gain kind of thing. So the Washburn pickups are the loudest, brightest, almost like a single coil on steroids. The Eddie Van Halen pickups are just that perfect sweet spot in the middle. The Ibanez pickups on the Joe Satriani 1200 need a little bit again, and this thing here, it could go without them, but of course I want that extra kung pao chicken, and I could run it through any one of the two pedals, and this guitar just loves every tone. The same thing goes for the Eddie Van Halen guitar with those pickups. Now the Bill Lawrence 500 and the Duncan 59, they have to have one pedal and one pedal only, and that's the Demon FX, because it's just too bright. I gotta tone it down a bit. But this here is sweet. So what do we have here? I'm gonna have to use the washers I got from Bonamassa. You know, those rubber ones that go on after this to keep it from popping off, only because it's right there instead of here. So I don't know what year this is particularly. Let me turn off there we go. But if anyone knows out there, the serial number is 1W190300267. If it is, does that mean it's a 2019? I don't know. But made in Indonesia. Now, the Dean company is right here in Tampa. I'm in Palm Harbor, so they're about 30 minutes from me. And yeah, their home base is in Tampa, so they pump these out, you know, right there. I guess the USA ones are made at the Tampa base store, warehouse facility, and the Indonesia ones are shipped to them and then sold out, you know, accordingly. Distribute, whatever you want to call it. So what we have here is failure to communicate. No, they took the Les Paul and kind of made it look like a Explorer with the tailpiece here. This fin, this horn going down, which I love because it helps sit on my leg. Three-way toggle right here. You know, if it was a little bit away from the toggle, the tremolo, because when I grab the tremolo, I do that kind of thing. So if they just moved it a little bit more away, they've been betterer. I should just say better, because I say that, you know, I used to say that with my kids. They have, as far as I remember, USA Seymour Duncan specialty pickups for Dean. The Zebra pickups have some kind of like a different coating on it, like a sandblasted coating. They're not shiny. I forget exactly what the detail was, but these pickups, meh, they sound amazing. I couldn't tell you which one has what, but They're just the Seymour Duncans that are made for Dean. A Floyd Rose 1000, and I have the original arm, but again, it's too low, and it even comes down. If you could see it, this one I put on. It's like a polished black nickel, because it's got a slight. It's bent a little bit higher, away from the Targo. This one here, if it's in, would be like that, a little bit closer. So I have to put that in the vise and bend that out a little bit more. Nothing splitting here, which is great. No splitting, no having a single coil, no tapping, no out of phase. Which, if they're gonna do anything, do the out of phase, because that's the only thing that I care about. It's a real quilted maple top on here. It's not a veneer. It's not a photo finish. It's a real maple top on here, and it's routed. I saw that their other ones, some of their other Deans aren't routed, so you can't pull up. You can only go down. This is a 22, which looks like jumbo frets on here, and they have been played, but there's no fret buzz with the inlays. Now, whether they're real pearl inlays or plastic, I would imagine they would be like a simulated kind of synthetic inlays, but they line up perfect with the string lay, and the fingerboard, as dirty as it is, you can see it's been played, lovingly been played, not abused. It's fantastic. The action on it is great. The slickness and the sound you get from maple is a little bit brighter than the sound you get from ebony is a little bit brighter than maple. I should rewind that. So yeah, that's the front. You've got the Dean, old-fashioned Dean headstock. Now, I was in a market for my first, real electric guitar. That was like a name, something better. And I was looking for a Flying V because, Kiss was my #1 band. Growing up, it was Deep Purple, Santana, and Kiss. And I just wanted the Flying V because I would draw pictures of it. Not realizing once I got one, how uncomfortable it was to play. The way it sits and the whole bit. And when I was out shopping for one, I went to the Focus 2 Guitar Center stores on Long Island, the one that was right in Patchogue, and he shows me a Dean. It was like this. It was like a quilted maple or just a maple blue colored, not maple, a blue Flying V with this headstock. And he was like, yeah, these are handmade, like handcrafted guitars, and the money was just, I couldn't afford it, so I wound up buying a quart from Sears, the Sears Roebuck store, where people would buy something and they would send it back and you would get it at a discount. And I got it, and it had the effector, so it had different sound effects built into the guitar. And since then, I haven't had a Flying V until 2000s and 2000 and I don't know, 2009, I think it was, or 2010, I bought another Gibson Flying V with an ebony fingerboard. And I did one gig with it at the beach, and it looked cool, it sounded good, but again, it just wasn't a comfortable guitar. Even at the time, I was standing up, just, playing it and trying to get a handle on it. So never had one since. But I always remember that headstock on that first Dean Flying V that Tom Lovaco, that owned Focus 2, handed me in the store. And I was like, yeah, this is really cool, until he told me the price. And I think back at that time, it was like $700-800. And when he said that, I was like, oh, here you go. So flipping it over, this is the back. You've got, like I said, the button here, and you've got the cutaways here for the screws, so you can adjust the tailpiece. They are on the A shape, I like them 3 in a row. I don't like them like this. It makes it a little bit stiffer on the tremolo. And I didn't open this up. I just brought this home today. Just give you a heads up. I went there yesterday. I played it. I came home with the Fender amp that I did a video on. Brought the Fender amp today back and then traded it for this. I played it at the store. I realized that I had to tighten up on the jack. At the store, it was loose. The cable was flopping around. And the 3-way toggle wasn't working. So, you know, when I went there today, I just put the amp down and I said, I want to put this toward, you know, bring it back, return it, but put it towards something else. And he says, oh, sure, look around. I said, I don't have to look around. I know exactly what I want. I went exactly where I put it, where I tuned it the day before, put it on the counter. It says, this one here. And so as soon as I got it home, I sprayed the 3-way. I took my 10mm socket and tightened that jack up. And then I just tuned it. All I had to do really was a quick tune. It was, I forget what it was on here, but it was like a D sharp. And the bridge was tilted too much. So when I actually unlocked the nut and tuned it to an E, it leveled out the bridge. And the action is perfect. And I've got no buzzing. It's great. It's sweet. Again, with the back, it's got Grover tuners on here. And it's got a flute for the headstock, which I like. And it's got a satin neck, which is sweet. And not only does that, you know, add to the playing, but it's a nice thin 60s, you know, shredding neck on here. And if I compare this to my Epiphone Floyd Rose, the Lifeson one, Alex, this one blows that one away. Much like the Agile that I had, that was just a boat anchor. Now, don't get me wrong, the Epiphone is I think 9.5 pounds, and this feels like a good maybe 7.5, 8 pounds. This feels maybe a pound lighter than the Epiphone. I'll do a video where I'll compare the two of them. But so yeah, this is when I brought it home. Like I said, I tightened up the jack. I sprayed the toggle. I did that like 20 times. And I had to break out the lemon pledge and clean it up, you know. It was a grease stained, you know, guitar, like everything from Guitar Center mostly is. And then I just had to tune it. I didn't have to set the bridge. I didn't have to set the neck, you know. Sweet. And all they have to do is when they get a used guitar in, again, it's just go through it. You know, this is loose, tighten it up. This isn't working, you hear it, you know, because right away, as soon as I played it, and I went up to the neck and came down to the bridge wasn't working. And I had to like click it a couple of times, and you would hear it and kick in. You know, check it out, tune it, and then wipe it down. You know, if you want to sell a car, wouldn't you clean the car up, have it detailed, you know, so you get the full value for it? Same thing with the guitar. The other thing that I like to mention is that it's a little bit of a contour here on the arm, for the forearm, on the body. You see that? I love it when it's contoured like that. Will make it better if they had a belly cut, if they had it, you know, a contour for the belly. But it's fine because it sits right here anyway, you know. But if they contoured this, that would just be another plus. But just to have that on, which is reminiscent of the Les Paul style guitar, I think Gibson should do that on all their guitars. And the flute, to know that it's going to be nice and secure, because that's one monster headstock. I just brought a gig bag with me because I didn't know if it would fit in a hard shell case. You know, the square ones, rectangle ones. And these were, you know, they were sticking out of the gig bag. I couldn't even close it. That's how big it is. And, you know, if you're jamming and you're doing a gig and someone comes up, you know, to attack you, and you can just poke them with it. Do the old Three Stooges right in the eyeballs. So yeah, I love the guitar. The fingerboard, like I said, is really needs to be cleaned and polished, and probably a coat of oil, you know. But it's just playing so well right now, and the strings are roached, but it's, you know, it's holding the tune, and for what it is, it was just, you know, something I was like on the fence with. Oh, that looks kind of funky. Like, you know, would I be embarrassed playing that out? You know, like, especially someone like my age bringing this down to Hank's Guitar Shop with all the fun strumming, folk singing people, you know, and I'm the only guy that rocks out, and then bringing this and pulling this out and stop playing it. People will be like, oh, it's going to be a metal show, and they'll start walking out. So yeah, a honey of a guitar, and I'm glad I switched and grabbed it. So I had to play it yesterday, and I had to do the one night kind of thing, where if you see something you like and you play it, whether it be a guitar or a car, and then you sleep on it, if you're thinking about it all night and then the next day you just got to have it, then you know you got to have it. So that's all I've got to say about that. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and better tomorrow. And cut.